the night everything started, 9:48 p.m., January 31st, outside Tucson, Arizona. That is the last confirmed moment anyone saw Nancy Guthrie alive. She was 84 years old. She was the mother of one of America's most recognizable television anchors. And after that moment, she simply vanished. No struggle, no witness, no answer. We are now 108 days into this investigation. Law enforcement has made 0 arrests. They've named 0 official suspects. The case remains completely open. But here is what makes this story different from every other missing persons case you have followed. 2 people connected to Nancy were formally cleared by investigators on day 16. Sheriff Chris Nanos personally declared them victims. He called targeting them cruel. Their names are Guthrie and Tommaso Cioni, and the internet has not stopped accusing them since. For 108 days, an online mob built a case against 2 people the police already eliminated. They published specific criminal accusations. They showed up at their neighborhood. They destroyed careers, canceled performances, and exposed a child to national scrutiny. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why their silence was never what the mob assumed. And you will see why the people doing the accusing may now face serious consequences for what they published. The police cleared them. The internet convicted them anyway. And a retired FBI agent just mapped out exactly what happens next. If you are new here, subscribe right now. This case is moving, and you need to be here when it breaks. They were cleared on day 16. The accusations never stopped. And what happened next is something the people pointing fingers never saw coming. What the mob actually did this is where Promise 1 pays off. You said you wanted to understand why their silence was never suspicious. Start here with what made staying silent the only rational choice. On day 3, TV host Ashley Banfield went on air and named Tommaso Cioni as a prime suspect. She cited a police source she described as having impeccable credentials. No forensic results existed yet. No timeline had been verified. But that single broadcast reached a national audience and never got retracted. That claim became the foundation for everything that followed. By day 12, the FBI released a physical description of the person captured on doorbell footage. The suspect stood between 5 feet 9 and 5 feet 10 inches tall. Tommaso stands significantly taller than that range. The mob did not abandon their theory. They reshaped it. His height became proof of a hired accomplice instead of proof of innocence. Every piece of counter evidence got absorbed and twisted. When facts cannot disprove a theory, it is no longer an investigation. It is a belief system. Here is what that belief system actually produced over 108 days. Tommaso's profile was quietly removed from his school's faculty directory. His music performances stopped. Venues went dark. Income disappeared. The true crime community physically gathered outside their neighborhood, filing reports, live streaming, and making the area genuinely unlivable. Annie filed formal harassment complaints. The family requested additional sheriff patrols around their home. And through all of it, their young son Leo watched his parents get accused of killing his grandmother on national platforms. The damage was not abstract. It was specific, documented, and measurable. And here is the detail that changes the legal weight of everything above. Most of that damage accumulated after day 16, after the official clearance. After Sheriff Nanos stood in front of cameras and told the public they were victims. Every accusation published after that date carries a different legal significance entirely. Because here is what the online community never stopped to ask. What happens when the people you accused were innocent and they kept every record? The question nobody asked, this is where Promise 2 lands. You said you wanted to understand what happens next. Meet the person who answered that question first. Jennifer Coffindaffer spent her career inside federal investigations. She carries a verified FBI badge. She has spent months applying behavioral analysis to this case publicly. She hosted retired FBI agent Robin Dreeke on day 80 when Dreeke assessed there was a 99.9% chance Annie and Tommaso had no involvement. She did not post her most important analysis on day 3 when Banfield named Tommaso. She did not post on day 16 when the clearance dropped. She waited until day 103, the exact moment neighbor reports reignited the entire online community, and she chose that moment deliberately. What she posted was not a behavioral defense. It was a legal framework. Under Arizona defamation law, Coffindaffer explained, 3 requirements must be present to pursue a claim. 1, a false statement must have been made. 2, that statement must accuse someone of a crime. 3, it must cause documented real-world damage. Here is what she identified as already present and verifiable by day 103. First, Tommaso's teaching profile was removed from a school directory, a documented professional consequence traceable directly to public accusations. Second, canceled music performances created a measurable gap in income tied to a false criminal narrative. Third, Annie's formal harassment complaints created dated legal records establishing a pattern of targeted harm. Fourth, requested sheriff patrols around the family home provided documented evidence of how far the harassment extended. Fifth, Leo, a minor child, was exposed to sustained national scrutiny because of accusations made against his parents after an official clearance. You must prove a false statement was made, like being accused of a crime and that it caused actual damage, Coffindaffer wrote. Every single requirement was already documentable. And then she wrote 4 words that reframed 108 days of silence in a single sentence. But also perhaps this. Do you think their silence is legal strategy or something else entirely? Drop your read below. This comment section is about to split. Because when a retired federal agent stops defending behavior and starts mapping legal damages, that is not commentary anymore. That is a warning. The price here is what Coffindaffer actually saw when she watched 103 days of complete silence from 2 formally cleared people. She did not see guilt. She saw a pattern she recognized from federal cases. She saw people following legal advice. She is not projecting. Coffindaffer's framework makes clear. She is pattern matching. Any lawyer preparing a defamation lawsuit gives their client one absolute instruction. Stop talking. Delete public accounts. Refuse all interviews. Make no statements that a defense team can later use in court. The silence has to be total. It cannot be occasional. Tommaso's complete public blackout, no social media, no performances, no press, is exactly what pre-litigation compliance looks like from the outside. Now look at the behavioral contrast sitting right next to that silence. Savannah Guthrie belongs to the same family. She is processing the same disappearance. She faces the same grief. She has remained consistently visible throughout all 108 days. Same family, opposite public profiles. That split is not emotional, it is legal. The people carrying the most exposure right now are the ones who publish specific criminal accusations after the day 16 clearance. The broadcaster who never retracted. The content creators who kept producing videos naming Annie and Tommaso as suspects against a documented police finding. Arizona defamation law does not care how many views a video got. It measures whether a false criminal accusation caused documented damage to someone officially cleared. The no trespassing signs Annie posted were not emotional reactions. They were dated legal boundaries. Every formal complaint she filed created another entry in a damages record that has been building for over 3 months. We are breaking down the full legal exposure in the member section. Hit the link below before the next update drops. Who do you think gets named first if this lawsuit actually gets filed? The broadcaster, the content creators, or someone nobody is discussing yet? The damages are documented. The legal framework is mapped. The only question left is the one this entire case has been building toward for 108 days. 2 clocks, 1 answer right now. 2 countdowns are running simultaneously. Law enforcement is still processing forensic evidence. The investigation remains open. Sheriff Nanos has said publicly he believes an arrest will come. And somewhere outside that investigation, a legal clock has been ticking since day 16. Here is the counterargument you deserve to hear fairly. Sheriff Nanos faces a recall campaign. He has received a no-confidence vote. A case with 0 arrest after 108 days does create legitimate public interest. Scrutiny of everyone connected to a missing 84-year-old woman is not inherently wrong. But scrutiny and specific criminal accusation are 2 different things. Publishing that a cleared person committed a kidnapping is not the same as asking questions. That is the line Coffindaffer drew on day 103, and it is the line that matters legally. The same silence reads 2 completely different ways depending on which framework you apply. Guilty evasion or disciplined legal preparation. Both interpretations fit the visible facts. Only one fits the documented record. 2 options, legal strategy or guilty silence. After everything you just heard, which side are you on? Tell us below. If a lawsuit gets filed, Coffindaffer's theory is confirmed. If this case goes cold and the accusations continue, the counterargument gains ground. Subscribe and hit the bell right now. This case is not over, and neither is our coverage of it. The mob got it wrong for 108 days. Whether that carries a price, that answer is still coming.